Welcome back to Irish Outlaw Garage. So, I haven't put out a video, as you've probably seen. You've been waiting on a video on Artemis, our 68 Pontiac ambulance. It's right over here behind you. Well, every time I decide to get parts for it, the parts are wrong, the parts don't come in, they just don't make them. So, well, Blanche here needs a lot of things. And some brilliant son of a bitch decided, you know what, Jay? Why don't you take a bunch of your Irish Outlaw Garage cars to No Name Nationals in Sikeston, Missouri on September 30th. 21, 20 days, 19, it doesn't matter. Right around the corner, okay? So, while we're waiting on parts, again, for Artemis, little things, nothing major, little things, but important nonetheless, which is my whole friggin' life right now, is waiting on parts. So while we're waiting on parts for Artemis, runs and drives, by the way, we've got to get a timing chain gear set on this, gasket set, oil pump, pan gasket, intake gasket, which is leaking oil because somebody used the China wall rubbers, which never work. I've used them before, but I don't know. It's Ford. It don't work like a Chevy. You start torquing that thing down, you got to go around it like 3 or 4 times because it basically settles down in there. You know, like a good cuddle session. I've already got the water drained. I'm home. Let's get started, huh? Yeah. First things first, or second, got to get the water drained. Of course, this was plugged up, so that's nice. So I wonder what else is in the cooling system. This was plugged up in a brand new friggin' radiator. We got to get this off. Radiator don't necessarily have to come out, but I did have to drain it because it's drained. Because if I'm going to run this at No Name National, it's got to have water in it, not antifreeze. So, you know, I got all that going for me. But you can see right there that China walls, it's yeah, it's coming out, that rubber gasket, and this is all full of oil, which is good, so this shouldn't stick anymore. But I'm going to try to get that intake out of there without taking the distributor out if I don't have to. But I would like to show you something. Let me show you. I knew I had a bad timing chain, but you can hold this thing back and forth. Look down there. See that rotating? Yeah, that's stick, 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 stick. If I pop this off, I guarantee you that that rotor is sitting still until it hits. You know, it's gone. And that would be probably the reason why I can't get a good timing reading on this thing. It's shot. Motor runs great, but I can't time it. It's, you know, not flooding itself out because of that piece of shit this time. It's actually because the timing is so bad that it loads up on fuel. It's just not right. And I notice whenever I open my hood, stuff falls out. So that's, you know, she's sprinkling. Sex dust, man. It's Blanche, you know, sexy, that thing. Yeah, anyway, let's get to it. All right, so now you got to take apart everything that I already put together. Fix this fine, if I can find it. Well, that's nice. Look how tight I got these. Oh, guess I'll put them on there good. Oh yeah. Yeah, they're on there good. Nice. I'm getting better from the side. Oh, remember how I did it. Maybe I'll use the ratchet. There we go. Well, Come on, baby. I should be able to get that out of there without taking out the goddamn, you know, the distributor. But if I have to, it should be nice and loose, because, you know, I only took a 4-foot crowbar to get the original one out, and then I goofed the shit out of it. Yeah, I'm cussing a lot more, don't care. I'm over it. I don't like not being myself. Well, get out of there. You know, I just thought of something. Ooh, slick. I bet if I take these out, my radiator hold down, which are sheet metal screws, y'all know that. I love them. Yeah, see? See? Divide and conquer. Other than this motor stuff and the holes underneath the back window, Blanche, this thing's solid. I don't, you know, I get people all the time, they want to give me crap, and they say, oh my God, look at all that rust. There's not really that much rust on the outside. What you're seeing is the brown paint where the gel coating is coming off. Gel coat meaning it's, you know, like they did in the 70s, these hot rods. They make a flashy gel coat paint like what's on a boat. That thing is sharp. And that thing moves some air, man. You can feel that coming out of the hood through the window. Look at that. Perfect. Lean that up against my yard ornament. Alright. Then, there's a half. What do I do with it now? Oh, it's not even shit. By ratchet, I mean, I'm lazy today. Oh, wrong way. Well, get down. There we go. Boom! Yeah, that was shot too. So that's all right. Got numbers. That's a good thing. Put this over here in my parts bin, which means on the rocks. And then I need to take these brackets. Believe it or not, this ain't going to be too rough. The hard part's going to be getting that harmonic balancer off. I may just go buy the right damn tool. I've always just used the wrong one. In fact, I may have bought one. I don't know. I did clean up my garage, but I don't know. We'll see. Whoa, that ain't good. That just come right off. Oh. 11/16. Right back. You know, there ain't much to these timing covers on this thing. It's, well, did I grab? Nope, I got the right one. Oh, don't ever do that to your Milwaukee. Let's get this, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Are those Oh, there it is. Well, these ain't all very tight at all. 2 bolts, 3 bolts hold the power steering pump on, and 3 bolts hold the alternator on. And they're all loose. It's fine. Well, the idea here is I'm going to do the timing chain and the pan. Then I'll focus on the top. I want to get in there and make sure everything's good before I go doing that. Oh, yeah. Like that. There's the there they are. 1 heater hose. All you got to take off. It's the one that goes to the water pump. Let me show you how easy this is on these. Okay. There's your water pump. Timing cover is behind here. It's a little thin piece of sheet metal that goes down underneath there, and your pan goes up on it. This bracket goes right here. Okay. It goes right here. This bracket, your power steering, goes here, here, and there. And that's it. All this is accessible now. Excuse me, I can get to that timing chain. I'll take the pump off, and I'll get those off. I think I got the puller that'll pull that. And then I just got to jack her up. I'm going to lift the motor. I'm going to jack the car up. I'm going to loosen the motor mounts. I'm going to lift the car up, and I'll take that pan off there. And this motor at some point is going to have to be rebuilt. It does need rebuilt, and I'd like to keep this one, you know, as stock as possible, because, you know, Blanche is the car I want to take on Power Tour next year. I'm going to get the air conditioning working and everything, and I'm going to take this old girl on a trip. Evidently, the guy who had it, who unfortunately passed away, my understanding is he loved just driving the car. It wasn't just a show car like most people. He enjoyed driving the car. So let's keep this tradition alive, and we'll take this thing on a long trip, as long as it's around here, because, you know, I got work and stuff. I don't want to go all the way to Arizona. Well, I might. I don't have a problem going to Arizona. I just, you know, I got to take a lot of time off work. I don't get paid to do this. So like and subscribe, damn it. Watch. So anyway, let's let me get this water pump off here, and I'll get the belt pulley off, and then we'll get ready to start knocking out those motor mounts and get this thing up off the ground a little bit so I can get my fat belly under it. And then we'll lift that motor up. I'll probably just take that engine stand, run it over here, just pull the motor up a little bit. Right? I'm not going to do, I mean, I could just use a block of wood and a damn jack and then put blocks of wood underneath, but it's safer with this heavy duty stand underneath it. So all right, let me get some more shit done, and I'll get you back in here. See you in a bit. First thing you do is you come up here and you want to put this down so you can turn the camera on, and you drop your shit right in the damn antifreeze. I hate antifreeze. So anyway. Man, look at all that antifreeze leaking on the ground. That'll get rid of your dog problem. My dogs are too smart for that, believe it or not. Dead blow, El Cabong. Where you at, motherfucker? Come on. Am I missing a bowl? I think I am. I don't think I was. Yep, there it goes. You just did. Oh, Well, that's like new. Probably is. It looks fairly new. Cool. That's awesome.
Jimmy.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
She was thinking of me. Subway time. Well, I gotta go get a puller. I was gonna do it the old-fashioned wrong way, but it's just too close. So I have to go get a puller. It'll be one of them nights, y'all. Let's go. So went and bought the right tool. Don't worry, I don't have the right one to put it back on. With this, you know, old school it. But it's off. So let me show you the chain. Look, right there. I know a bad timing chain when I see one. Eh? What do you think of that? Hmm? G-unk. G-unk. Even the other side's loose. Look at that move. Wow. That'd be why there's no timing. Yeah. So now we gotta work on getting that motor lifted up and get that pan drop so I can get that oil pan in there. And once I got the oil pan dropped, and then we can change that timing chain and gears, and you know, easy peasy. See you in a bit. So got the timing chain and everything off. You don't want to know how I got it off there. It was stuck. Not original. It was a crane cams, I think. I ran the number and that's what it was. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I was going to see what kind of cam that is. I'm trying to get the numbers off, but I don't want to take that thrust plate off to find out. But it looks like crane numbers. If I can get in there and read them. I might have a better look at it if I get my head underneath there and poke up there, but right now it's a little tough to see. It's dark. Had to stop. Subway. Plus I had to go get parts. But yeah. She's cleaned out. Now I just gotta get all that shit apart. Get that bottom off. So I still got a little time, I think, tonight. I'm gonna try to lift that motor. We'll get that motor lifted up. That way I can get her loose and get that pan off there. Start working on that. So anyway, back to you in a bit. On second thought, I'll see you tomorrow. Welcome back. A few days later, it rained, had a gig, worked a lot. You know, it happens. Got Blanche up in the air, got the oil drained out. Seen a couple days ago, I got the whole timing set apart. Everything went well. Now I got to lift this engine. Basically what you saw me do in the video back in the back. You know, you can scroll back into the playlist and find this Ranchero, and you can see where I put it all back together. I just got to reverse that process. Shouldn't take me too long. Get that down. This time I will put the timing cover back in before I put the pan on, because the timing cover sits down on there and, you know, the pan goes up on it. I did get underneath there and just kind of scope things out. It looked like, I thought maybe there might have been a rear main leak. If there is, it's a dribble, but it is leaking out of the back of the intake because it's got the China wall rubbers on it. So I got a new intake gasket. It's the Valley Pan style because it was all I could get at the time. I'm hoping it's going to work just fine with this Edelbrock intake, which it should. Pretty much that's it. Put her back together, get the oil back in it. You know, after I get the oil pump in, and we pray that everything goes good and I get me some good oil pressure for a while. I do know the motor's got to be built. Come on, it does. It's got miles on it. It's a modified motor, about 110,000 or more. That's it. That's right around there is about what you'll get out of them, usually. But all right, let me get this engine up. Got to get the motor mounts loose. Probably use my engine hoist. I have to move around that thing, but get her up in the air, get that pan out of there, get the oil pump changed, get the timing cover back on, and then we'll start putting the pan back together with new gaskets and all that stuff. Then again, I may just put it right back together the way it is because it wasn't leaking. We'll see. Quickest and easiest is the best way for me right now. So let me get to it. All right, folks. Motor's up. Pan's off. Didn't take me long. Just put a couple on the intake, which is completely wrong, but we're doing it anyway. And just lifted the motor up as high as it can go, so it's, you know, beating the hell out of the brake booster, the, you know, windshield wiper motor, and the air conditioning setup over there on the valve cover. Who cares? So I did get it out, but this time I was able to lift it up high enough that I didn't have to take anything loose, which is actually kind of cool. But here we go. And you can see down in here, after it's ran with that oil, there's no metal, I don't think. No metal. Just a lot of grime and stuff that was pushed out of the motor. I'm not finding any flakes. The oil looked pretty decent. Those are the bullets for that. But yeah, but that is a lot. I cleaned this pan completely out, and that's a lot of grime that come out of that engine after being run. You know, that's why I change your oil a couple times. But yeah, it's not bad at all. Like I said, there's no metal shavings. They got low on oil pressure, but that's just typical. This thing's trashed. If you go back and watch that video, you can see it in there. It's trashed. So I need to get this swapped out with my new one, get it in the car, and then we'll put the timing cover and timing chain, timing cover, all that crap. So yeah, we got to get the timing chain and everything in there, clean this up, put the timing cover on. We'll make sure we get that good and snug. And I'm gonna put the fuel pump on later. But yeah, here we go. Updates. So I got everything cleaned up. Got this in. Timing chain is in. I checked it both ways. This is torqued to 45. It says 40 to 45, but 40 to 45. Put a little bit of, you know. This is what I usually have. This shit is awesome. This tube is awesome. It's awesome. So that's a whole lot better. I've run her both ways, and the sucker went right on there. Made sure I cleaned all this up in my bench grinder brusher, and also cleaned up the timing plate cover. I cleaned it up in my parts washer with diesel. And now I ran out of freaking brake clean. Imagine that. That's all I use is brake clean for everything. So I ran out of brake clean. I got to run to town. A buddy of mine needs a 12 volt coil, so I'm going to drop that off on my way there. Get me some brake clean, maybe a few little heres and there's, but this thing's coming right along. I mean, this ain't going to take long. I am going to put the new gasket underneath it because I think this motor is fine. I think once this fuel pump is in here, fuel pump, once this oil pump is in here, it's going to be just fine. Other than I may at one point here need to put valve seals on it. Definitely, it's going to need them, but we ain't worried about that. That don't kill the motor. But we are going to get this done. We'll get this off today. Once the motor's back down, I'm going to pull that off, but I wanted to make sure that stayed in its place, put the oil pump in, get the whole bottom set back down, then we'll work on that intake, and that won't take but a thing. So all right, let me go get some stuff. Here's the timing cover, by the way. This seal was garbage. I got it out of there. It had oil all up through here. It was just nasty. It was, you know, shooting oil. But yeah, I need to get some brake clean, make sure this is all nice and dried out, but it cleaned up nice. I don't think we're gonna have any problem. You can see how old it is right there. Got all the little hits and stuff, but that's okay. That's what gaskets are for. And remember, if you're going to use this stuff, you only need a little sheen of it on there. You don't need to smear it on. If you need to smear it on there, something ain't right. You probably need a new one. So anyway, let me go get my stuff. Hi, welcome back. So I went and got my brake clean, had to drop some stuff off at a friend's. Got everything cleaned up. Everything's ready to go back in. Water pump, timing chain, everything's in. Brand new, ready to go. Did have one bolt that was stripped out on the timing cover, so that's great. But you know, I just siliconed the hell out of it and stuck it in a hole. Don't have much choice. So that light is bright now. Let's go back that way. There we go. So anyway, now I'm gonna put this oil pump up in there. I already got the screen changed over. And the thing about running a high volume oil pump on these engines, I know some people don't, and I cut corners all the time, but the oil pump drive shaft right here that comes stock is okay for a stock pump. But whenever you start doing high volume, you got a good chance that you're going to shear that thing off because it does lube a lot more. So ARP, this is an ARP oil pump drive shaft. So yeah, we're going to stick that up in there. Let me get that in, and then we got to get that pan back in, set the motor back down, right? Sounds easy enough. So let's get it done. So the fan fought me a little bit. I had to, you know, readjust the pickup screen a couple different times, but I think I got her good. I hope. Oh my God, I hope. I hate to take all this back apart again. It's fairly simple though, but I did get the whole new gasket set in it. It went in fine. Lost 3 bolts, which is fine. I just got some out of the junk bin. So what we're dealing with now is just drop her back down, get the starter on it, little things here and there, fill her full of oil, and I'll worry about that intake. That's an easy one. So I say that this wasn't easy either, but okay, on to the next. So anyways, it's dark. Yeah, I'm working in the dark because I don't have much time. I got everything back together except for like front of engine, cooling, all that shit, because I'm going to do the intake, but we need to check to see if this thing has oil pressure. She's full of oil. Use Rotella 1540 as usual. And one thing of STP oil treatment for a little added protection and zinc. And I filled the oil pump, the new oil pump, with STP, just like I always do. So let's see what she does. All right. Got the fuel pump unhooked and nothing's hooked up. Electronics aren't hooked up. See if she cranks. Oh yeah, she cranks. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on. Uh-oh. Come on. I know she's got oil in her. There she goes. Oh yeah, we got oil pressure. One more time. Oh yeah, 20 pounds of crank. Just do a little bit more. Make sure she gets the oil all through her. And that'll do. That'll do, pig. All right, so the intake's off. I know I don't have a hat on. Weird, huh? Don't want to show you the spot. That's the reason I don't have long hair anymore, because I didn't want to be that guy. So anyway, got it out. Yeah, it's dirty in all the right places. By the way, I pulled this apart and I have it right over there next to that Holley carburetor that's leaking into the cylinders. It's, you know, same thing. It's always doing it. Fuel pressure, doesn't matter. Anyway, they had a friggin' I'll just show you. They had this underneath this Holley square bore, right? Oh yeah, it looks good until you flip it over. Yeah, that's for a spread bore. Brilliant. Anyway, back to the intake. It's a 400 intake. You know, they made these ones for the 400 modify or regular 400. Cleveland, same difference. So anyway, has the valley pan. You can see it sat for a while. By the way, I took the bolts out of this and it just pulled off. There was no stick. There was no nothing. So yeah, it was leaking like crazy. You can see it in the cylinders that the carb that's in it was just leaking gas down into the cylinders. Okay. You know, Holley, don't care. You guys can argue with me all you want. I'm fed up with Holley. Anyway, here's the China walls. This is what was leaking real bad. Look at that thing. That is why you do not use those. If you are going to use them, you need to put silicone on them. I know, I preach, don't over silicone, blah, blah, blah. China wall, if you can do it right, they'll last. But these weren't done right. And the crazy thing is, these actually have prongs to hold it in place. But they still got it wrong. I don't know how long they've been on there, but look at that. That is, yeah, so done. Now, as far as this thing, you know, it's got your normal, you know, somebody liked their Pennzoil or non-detergent oil usually. But you can see, look at the fuel just going right. They're wet. This thing ain't ran for forever. I haven't ran it for at least a few days, almost a week. And it's got oil, or excuse me, oil and fuel down in there. So that would be the reason it wouldn't really run with a shit. It ran good, but not good enough. I am moving this oil pressure sender. I am moving it. I'm going to block that off, and I'm moving it down right there. You can see that little plug right to the right of the fuel pump that I just installed, because I'm getting rid of the electric one, right? I told you. I'm going to pull that one out, and I am going to probably put the oil sender out of there. That's what they say to do. I mean, it works, so I'll try it. You know, once I get it running again, I'll try it. But if I don't like the pressure that it shows, you know, we'll go down there, because that gives you actual better pressure right off the pump. Because, you know, even if it's not getting oil in the back, you know, I'd like it to at least show a little bit better. So, yep, you guessed it, I'm still going. Getting ready to stick this intake valley pan, gasket, whatever, that they're a great idea, but they don't seal with a damn. So what you have to do is, you got to put you a bead of silicone, black or gray, around every port. Not like, you know, any of the other ones where you can just put them around the water port and be done with it. You literally have to put it around every one. And I've looked it up on YouTube, and that's completely what everybody says. So the other thing is I put me a nice bead, thick, probably way too much, on those china walls, and I'm letting that set a second, and then, you know, I'll put it back together. I'll put the pan down in there. I'm letting them both sit for a second. I'm gonna throw them down in there, then I'm gonna run a bead again on the outside, you know, where the intake goes down. That way it's got a perfect seal. Then it's 25 foot-pounds. You got to torque them from the inside out. Just keep going around in circles, you know. Work yourself either counterclockwise or clockwise, whatever you want to do. Thing is, you got to do that like 3 to 5 to 6 times until it's perfect all the way around, because Fords don't sit like a Chevy. They kind of ease theirself, you know, wiggle their butt down in there until they're good and seated. So I'm going to let this sit for a second. I'm going to get it down in there, and then I'm going to put that intake on there. And that may be it for tonight, because I got to work early. But we'll see. I feel pretty good. I'm not tired, probably because I slept till noon, but whatever. That's the next night. Back out here again. Pretty well think I got her all together. Got the intake on it. Got one bolt I don't like. I didn't like how it was torquing, so I'm going to get a grade 8 for it, because it was a cheapie that was in there before I got it. So let's show you here. So everything's in. That oil right underneath there, underneath that distributor, that's still from the other way, but it looks like it went in pretty good. Got some wires out of the way, the black wire and the red wire. The red wire's for my ignition, and the black wire's for the electric choke. I got all of the vacuum lines off except for the vacuum advance and the brake. Everything else is plugged off. I'm not dealing. I ended up putting a different, I had another what you call it on there, what is going on there? Did I did. Really, Jay? Really? I double gasketed that carburetor. That's not good. I guess I didn't realize it had one on it. Alrighty then, looks like I gotta do that. Well, let's see how many neighbors we can piss off all at once, eh? We got power. We got keys. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Come on, baby. Not used to that new setup. Come on. What the fuck? Am I on fire? Might be on fire. Well, definitely not on fire. And she just unhappy. Smoky. You getting any fuel yet? I hope. Let me find out. Well, don't have much light in here, but let's try this, huh? Oh yeah. Whoa. Look at that. 70 pounds of oil pressure cold. No friggin' way. Sounded that good. Hell yeah. Get all that crap off of there that I lost. I gotta find where some of this shit goes. I ain't so sure. I don't remember. No fuel smoke anymore either. Better burn off all that crap, huh? Double check. Sorry about the wobble. Burning off all the oil I dropped. Yeah. Exhaust is all burning off. That's all. about 1,000 RPM. See where we're sitting at. Oh yeah, I'm happy with that. Big time. That's right at 1,000 RPM. Well, actually that gauge is bouncing. It's probably about 900. Why are you bouncing? Let me do some double checking. Well, I got what I wanted. 10 pounds per 1,000. She's running about 800 RPM, about 80, 8 pounds of oil pressure. I'd rather be a little hotter than that, but when you hit the gas, she's good. So I think we're going to be okay. I'll probably bring the idle up to about it doesn't sound as cool, but at least it oils the motor better. Sorry I had that blinded. Yeah, she's running 190, 160, 170, 180, 190. Oh, 200. Which is where it was running. So who knows? I don't know. Whatever. I've had some of them run 200. I mean, that AMC runs that all day long. It don't sound too bad. No leaks that I can see. Not down there. Nope, nope, nope. Looks like everything's rolling good. We got the radiator cap on now. That blow by. But these things are built to have a PCV on them. I might try to find a cap that lets me run one. Because it runs great now with a new timing chain. Boy, it really runs good. I can tell the difference. It's smoother. You can hear and feel the cam doing its job. It's tight now. Got my intake, nothing's leaking. Starting to get pressure. Burning all that oil off. I wonder how many neighbors I've pissed off already. Amber's probably in there. Why can't you wait till the man? Yeah. So that's it. Like, share, subscribe, all that crap. No Name Nationals is 18 days away. We'll see you there. Nope. Got an oil leak. Somehow or another, where one of the bolts are, it goes through the pan into the block, right against the flat part. One of the stress parts cracked. And I had it running and it just drip, 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 drip. A little bit of RTV ought to fix it right. That's what I'm thinking. So I already put some on it. Just come home the other night and I was like, hey, I'll just throw a little RTV in that. Cleaned it all off through some minutes. I'm gonna see how it works. If that don't work, I guess I get out the JB weld. But yeah, I don't know, guys. It might work. It's right up there. I don't know if you can see that. Get this damn thing out of the way. Right there where I'm pointing. right against that bolt. I'll try to zoom in on it, but I doubt it. But I'll see if that holds. If it don't, well, then we got to get out the JB weld. Notice the pan's leaking too. That's great. And I noticed my new fuel pump's leaking right here. So, okay. I may have to eliminate that with just the electric one that's still on it. I didn't take it off. The electric pump is still on it. I'm gonna leave it on it too. Nasty foolers. I ain't really been under here. I'd like to change that rear end over. I got a mini spool for it, but I don't think I'm gonna have time because I really don't want to have to redo a rear end, because you have to. I'll have to get it all reset up, unless I'm really careful with the locking spanners and all that kind of shit. Whatever. I've done them before. I just really don't want to right now. I'm tired of cars, honestly. Other than that, this thing's ready to go. Just this damn oil leak. I even got a dash in it. Check this out. Look at there. I don't know if speedometer works though. I know the fuel gauge works. I tested it, but some of the lights don't work. Like this side is bad, so I need to take it back out and check on that. But I think that might be the circuit paper thingy in the back, which is basically this one. This is the one my friend Darrow sent me, and it was the wrong hookup. This one's a 72, but these things go bad, and then they get, you know, see all that blue, and I might try to clean that up a little bit and see if that'll work. But yeah, then we got to get the tunes working. It's a Saturday, 2 weeks before No Name Nationals. The ambulance is mostly ready. A few little wiring things, it can make it. It can go just the way it is. And the other car I was going to bring, my 1976 Ranchero we call Blanche, was also, you know, it was set to go, oil pump, blah blah blah. Well, what I figured would happen sooner or later happened. She decided she was going to start knocking at the door, and well, instead of letting it get really significant and just running her till she blows, I'd like to save this engine because it is the original engine. So right now, 2 weeks before No Name Nationals, I'm heading my happy ass down to Southern Illinois so I can grab me a 400 Ford, which will slide right in here. That's been sitting 20 years. It's going to be untested, everything. I'm going to switch some intake and little things here and there. We're just going to slide it in there and we're going to go. Right? Sounds easy. So let's go south.